Lionel Kimble. He's the vice president for programs at the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. He joins us now from Chicago. Lionel, thanks so much for being with us. Finally, Juneteenth is actually being recognized outside of Texas, at least. But you're in the state of Illinois. It's a state that hasn't quite given the same recognition as a few other states in the nation. But just tell us first what this day, Juneteenth, actually does mean to you.
Well, to me, Juneteenth is essentially our second Independence Day. I think one of the ways we can describe it is very appropriately put by Frederick Douglass. And Frederick Douglass quite famously wrote a poem entitled "What is the 4th of July to the Negro?" And he talks about the contradictions between American freedom and ideals of democracy, and how those ideals weren't really given to Black Americans here in the States. So Juneteenth is an opportunity for me and my family and my colleagues to really think about and put into make sense of what freedom really means in this country, and as a way to look at what it means to be free, what it means to be talk about liberty and equality here in the States. So that's really what it means to me right now.
It's amazing, Lionel, because so many of the real pinnacles of African American history in the United States have not been made part of the public education curriculum. From Juneteenth to the Greenwood Massacre, or Black Wall Street Massacre, as some others call it. Do you think things are finally changing at pace, or is America still just, barely catching up?
Well, I think things are changing. I think there's a momentum being built on the ground through institutions like Black Lives Matter, and this renewed attention paid to police brutality, social injustice, economic inequality. But the great thing about the SALA, the association, is that we've been doing and talking about these educational opportunities and talking about these disparities and the way we think about history for 105 years. So as vice president, I think I'm very, very happy that there is this renewed sense of that we're talking about Black history in the larger scope of American history.
Then how important really is it to you that days like Juneteenth are turned into federal holidays? And speaking from experience, when it is a federal holiday, when in school you are actually forced to understand why the day is a federal holiday, it goes with a whole nother layer of education that you otherwise wouldn't have had. And it is so important. Martin Luther King Day, for example, was really something we were taught as Americans to be very, very proud of. So would making Juneteenth, for example, a federal holiday, kids get the day off school, they have to learn truly about the history of this day, would it make a significant difference more than just being symbolic?
I think it would, but I think there's a larger problem. I think in many states that they're within state social studies curriculums, there are provisions put in place in which mandate the teaching of African American history, and unfortunately across school districts in this country, it's been very uneven the way they talk about these subjects. But I think celebrating, commemorating holidays like Juneteenth and making these national and federal holidays, I think is a good start, but it's far from the end of the race as far as integration and thinking about the larger American narrative in regards to race relations.
Okay, Lionel Kimble, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us. They're from Chicago.